Outside. 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 Hello, everybody. Welcome. How's it going? Hope you're doing good. Yes, we are live. We're doing stuff. And, I am just going over a few things here, getting everything, my lighting squared away, making that look nice. Let's see if those notifications went out. Do I have my phone? I don't have my phone with me, do I? That's not good. Oh, maybe we'll see if those notifications went out. Maybe somebody will be nice enough to let us know in the chat if they got notified. Could you guys do that for me? Would you let me know in the chat if you got notified that I was live?
Sean the Orca Guy. Good morning, nay, you beacon of truthiness in a world of BS.
Truthiness. Just wondering if you guys got notified that I was live. Because I don't have my phone with me and I didn't see any notifications come. I guess I could check a YouTube channel, huh? I could do that, right? I can go to YouTube and see if notifications went out. Yeah. Okay, so I could bring up the video. Great. Okay, so notifications went out. Great.
Sean the Orca Guy. My phone went crazy with notifications.
So I want to give a shout out to my friend and friend of the show's, Lee Camp. He interviewed RBN.
Dabs 4 days.
Revolutionary Blackout
morning,
Network. Not a friend of the show. Usually I could say that about almost every podcaster. But Revolutionary Blackout Network has gone out of their way to completely ignore me. So, that's okay. There are people that are involved with them that are friends of mine. But just so you guys know where we all stand, they chose a long time ago to not ever respond to anything that I ever said. For whatever reason, it's on them. I was trying to help. Now, this is what's so ironic and hilarious about this. Is when I first realized who RBN was, I was like, they're not going to last forever. This is not going to last. No matter what they think, I was listening to the rhetoric, and I was like, they're going to get shut down just like I did. So I reached out to them, and I was like, hey, man, I'm Naysgarden. I've been having massive problems with my channel being shut down and silenced and blah, blah, blah. I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. No response. Tweeting at them, no response. It might not be their fault. Maybe social media has prevented them from seeing my tweets or my comments or my posts on their YouTube channel. That's very possible. Understand, it might be social media's fault, but it's left a very bitter taste in my mouth over RBN. Just completely being ignored all the time. As I said, there are other people involved in RBN who have spoken with me and have given me the time of day. I appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot. Because of the few good people that are involved with that network, you guys still have a good reputation as far as I'm concerned, because you do have good people there. But if you choose to think that you're above me and that's why you don't want to talk to me or whatever your reasoning is, you could let me know or whatever, but it's on you. I could have helped you big time, but you didn't want to talk to me, so I never got to tell you what I know about being silenced on social media. And that is, there's some things you can say and do, and there's some things you cannot say and do. I saw you saying things that I knew I would never get away with, and I said, it's just a matter of time before those algorithms come down on you too. Because you're doing good and you're monetizing, you got a lot of viewers and YouTube likes that, and they'll forego some of the rhetoric for a while. But after, it even happened to Jimmy Dore. We just talked about this yesterday. Doesn't matter who you are. They will get you. If they can do it to Lee Camp, they can do it to anybody. If they can silence Lee Camp, they can silence anybody. Okay, so knowing that, it's kind of ironic that RBN goes on Lee Camp, one of the most silenced podcasters on the internet, to, speak his piece to, a handful of people, because once again, Lee Camp has been silenced. He used to have a huge following. YouTube's going to make sure that not a lot of people are going to see this. I think it's important on multiple levels that we discuss it. One of my favorite ones is the old "I told you so." I knew this was happening. I saw it coming down the pike. You chose to ignore me, because you're Mr. Big Friend to Jimmy Dore and you don't like me for whatever reason. Fine. This is what you have to deal with now. Now you have a strike on your channel and you can't put up content for 2 weeks. And for someone like Revolutionary Blackout Network, that's a big deal because they're monetized and they make money. And guess what? They're going to get screwed with now, man. This is, and if they could have talked to me, I could have warned them all about this before it happened. We could have stopped this all from happening. But they chose to not be my friend and not even have a conversation with me. Yeah, I've tried to have this conversation with all of the podcasters that I've talked to. None of them really want to go there. They don't think it's going to happen to them. It's like kind of talking about, cancer, the big C or something, and you mention it, and, oh, no, we don't really want to talk about that because, it's karma, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's not how it works, man. Education is the best way to avoid being silenced on social media. Learning how to avoid it is the best way to avoid it. Knowing what you can say, what you can't say, what they're looking for, what they're listening for, and what they respond to. Someone like me knows all of it because I've been through it, man. I've tested the waters, man. I've thrown so much bread in that water. I've fed every piranha out there. And we know what they bite on. We know every single thing they will bite on because I've taken the strikes over and over and over again. And when's the last time I got a strike on this channel? On any of my channels, right? Now, I get warnings all the time, but those are usually content warnings over copyright issue. And it's not even a strike. I'll play somebody else's song or a cover song. But generally, my rhetoric doesn't get me hit, right? Why? Because I've had to tone it back. They're going to talk about it on here in a second. We're going to bring that up. We're going to talk about it. I know I've done a whole lot of conversating about this before we've even brought the thing up. But, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the video here. That's the last video I see. That's the last video I typed on. Okay, and that's what it brings up. The last window that I typed on. Okay. I just learned something that's kind of cool. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
My evil laugh.
Hey.
Good morning.
What's up, my evil laugh? How's it going? So this is Lee Camp, and this is Revolutionary Blackout Network, the main guy. Off the top of my head, I don't know his name. It'll come back to me. But he's never interacted with me on the internet before. Now, of course, Lee Camp is a friend of the show's. And Lee Camp said, next time you want to have me on your show, bro, I'll come on your show anytime you want to have me. We have that open invitation. Now, I've since then called Lee Camp out on his bullshit that he did for China, for the Chinese government. And that invitation might not be open anymore. I don't know if he even saw what I put up or not. But friend of the show still, Lee Camp. We don't have any reason to believe otherwise. And this gentleman, Nick, I want to say Nick, I can't think of his last name. But anyway, Nick from Revolutionary Blackout Network. A guy who has chosen over the last 2 years or 3 years or so to never interact with anything that I've ever said to him. Not a single thing. Never had a response from this guy. And I thought to myself, hey, you know what, Nick? Fuck you. You don't want my help? Fuck you. I won't talk to you. I thought you had a good thing going, and I thought maybe you could use a little bit of, friendly advice about how to avoid what's going to happen to you because you're an angry man. And you say angry things, and you have other angry men and women on your channel who say angry things, and some of those things are going to get you in a lot of trouble, Nick, down the road. But, you don't want to hear it from me for whatever reason that was. I don't care what the reason was. This is what happens when I get ignored. People get hurt. Okay, so let's watch. and you'll see what's happened to Nick and Revolutionary Blackout Network. They were doing really good on YouTube.
As a younger channel, we don't have any YouTube liaisons to reach out to. This is when they decide to strike our channel down, it's over for us.
I'm joined by Nick Cruz, the co-founder of the Revolutionary Blackout Network. I'm sure most of you know him well.
Nick Cruz.
Hello, Nick.
I thought that was his last name, but
poppin',
I got him confused with Nick
Hey,
Fuentes.
thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
Nick Cruz.
I'm going to say something to you that I have heard many times over the past year, and it has been cold comfort, but I'm sorry to see this happening to you. I have heard that much.
I'm sorry to see it happening to Nick, and at the same time, I'm kind of celebrating the fact that he's ignored me all this time, and it could have been prevented. And because this man right here, Nick, chose to ignore me and not talk to me, now he has to deal with the consequences of what happens when you ignore somebody who knows something, and you want to act like, oh, I'm not going to listen to you because of whatever, I don't like what you're about, or whatever his reason was for ignoring me. I reached out to him plenty of times.
Hey, Papa Nay, how's your day?
It's going really good. You know why? Because another YouTube channel has been silenced that has ignored me for years after me trying to warn them and help them and reach out to them. Hey, man, I have included RBN on my video to stop silencing podcasters. How ironic is that? You guys remember my video? Well, most of you didn't see it, or you may have seen it. You might not remember it. It was like, podcasters are being silenced. And pretty soon, there will be no voices left out there. I made a video, Truth or News.
I remember it.
Oh, you remember that? Did you ever share it around? Maybe you should have sent it to RBN. He probably could have used it. Lee Camp could have used that too. A lot of these guys could have used the information that I had at my fingertips, and I offered it because, hey man, it's like somebody who's a victim of rape, okay? I'm the victim. I've been raped by social media. I don't want to see it happen to other victims. So I go out there and I try to find other people before they've been affected and help them. But you know what? They're all high and mighty because they ain't been raped yet. So they're better than me. And if they even talk to me, it could happen to them too. Or whatever. Guilt by association. Whatever. I don't know what's going on inside their brains. Not my problem. You know what is my problem? Absolutely nothing, because I've already been through this shit, and I'm here, and I'm still alive, and I've dusted off, and I'm still doing my show every day. You know what? He can't put up content for 2 weeks. Why? Because he chose to ignore me. I would have helped him. I would have told him what he can and can't do. He didn't want to listen to me. He didn't want to tone it back. He didn't want to even try to apply anything. And what he claims he got banned for is hilarious. He thinks he got banned for repeating a news story. He doesn't want to actually tell Lee Camp why he really got banned. And maybe YouTube's not being completely honest with him about why they banned him. They found some stupid reason. According to Nick, now I would have to see it typed out by YouTube, but according to Nick, it's because he was reporting news. He was just reporting news about Ukraine. And he says he got a 2-week strike. Monetization pulled 2 weeks, not allowed to upload for 2 weeks over reporting the news. I don't know if Nick's being completely honest with us.
But right now, you guys have just gotten a second strike on YouTube for crazy old video.
Okay, my bad. I missed that part. I didn't realize it was a second strike. That's serious. I thought it was 1 strike. Oh boy, it's 2 strikes. 1 more strike. And if Nick would talk to me, he'd find out this channel won't be deleted. He'll think it's gone. And then he'll give up and they'll move to Rumble and whatever, and they'll lose everything they ever produced on YouTube because he doesn't want to talk to me and find out that, hey, by the way, Nick, they're not going to delete your videos. They're not going to delete your channel. Yeah, they'll give you 3 strikes and they'll tell you that it's all gone. But if I could tell you who to contact. I could tell you how to get your channel back. But like I said, you've always ignored me, Nick. You're too good for me. So I can't talk to you. You know what? I can't tell you these things.
Yeah, and
am I enjoying this?
Censored comedians.
Maybe.
America, so
Maybe I'm enjoying it.
Pain right now, and that's why I appreciate
am I enjoying it more than I should? Fuck no, I'm not enjoying it more than I should. And all of you should agree with me. Being ignored from all of these huge podcasters with all these giant followings for years, based on whatever their differences were with me, so that they wouldn't listen to me when I was just trying to tell them, hey man, what happened to me is going to happen to you. It's a little satisfying when it finally comes around. And hey, I warned every podcaster out there this was going to get you too. That's why we did the Jimmy Dore show yesterday. I was like, wow, Jimmy Dore's numbers are going down. I wonder if he notices. I'm the first one to notice that shit. I'm hypersensitive to it. we'll keep going.
Bringing me on as well, and that's how I know they're gonna get rid of us here soon, because we got a strike on something that was absolutely nonsense anyway. Because you just played a clip
right
from the EU, and someone was talking about vaccines, so we got a strike for something that we didn't even say.
Okay, I missed that part too. It was vaccines, and you know, I made the guess earlier that they put out vaccine misinformation, and the reason why I did that is because I think Brianna Joy Gray is a friend of their show. And she was on The Hill or on Rising or something talking about that she didn't trust the science behind masks or social distancing or something. And I was like, oh, you cannot do that. And number one, you don't understand the science if you don't think social distancing and masking doesn't work. If you don't understand that science, we need to back up. You need to stop talking. You need to take your voice off the social media, and we need to have a conversation about the science really quick. I could explain it to you in less than 30 seconds. Here you go. I'm in Florida. You're in California. Can you get sick from me? No. Why not? Distance. Well, what's the least amount of distance that has to be? Well, maybe you should research that. And you find out, hey, social distancing does work, right? It does work. If you avoid somebody that's got the germs by staying enough of a radius away from them, you're not going to catch those germs. That's how social distancing work. That's how locking down, self-lockdowns work. That's how keeping all your little rugrats out of school works. And guess what? Suicide rates dropped for kids in school during lockdowns. Wow. Kids went back to school. Guess what? Suicide rates rose again. Pretty interesting, huh? That's some interesting stuff. You should look into that. If you follow me on my threads, you'll see all those articles. I tweet them. I threaded them. You can go check them out on Threads. Download the app on your phone today. You're missing out. Move on to other social media platforms as they come up, guys. You got to stay mobile. Stay mobile on social media. You know, YouTube is shutting down a lot of people. They've just raised the price of premium by $2. Everyone's getting desperate. You need to let these companies know by taking your business elsewhere. Rumble, Kick, that's what Nick is doing. You should follow them over there. Okay? And just tell YouTube to go fuck themselves. And hey, man, what did I used to say at the beginning of every show? Fuck you, YouTube, the beginning of every fucking show. Remember that? I got over that because you know what? That wasn't doing me any good because people like this were ignoring me. Because they were scared of me. They were scared of me saying, fuck YouTube. Oh, we need our monetization. We can't go there. I don't know what was going on inside their brains. I really don't. I don't know if that was it. All I can do is guess because none of them will talk to me. So I don't know. But I will tell you this. It feels damn good knowing that you guys know that I was on top of this for years, reaching out to these people, all of them, for years, to warn them about how I was silenced and hoping one of them would reach out to me and say, hey, man, thanks for having me on your show. Why don't you come on my show and you can tell my audience about what happened to you? You know what? It's never happened. It's never fucking happened. Nobody wants me on their show. So, you want sympathy from me now? You're not going to get it from me. You're not. You might as well listen to Lee Camp. He'll sympathize with you. He does that really good. Not from this guy.
Hey, we did the crime of doing journalism and repeating what someone else
said. Can't even reveal what the EU says.
Look. Repeating what someone else said, Nick, sorry, isn't doing journalism. That's what Jimmy Dore does. You've been taught wrong. Just because you repeat something that somebody else said, that's not journalism. Journalism is hearing something somebody else said and then going and researching it, then proving it's true, and then reporting on it. That's journalism, Nick, but you wouldn't know that because you're not a journalist. So quit pretending to be one. You don't even know what it means. All right? You know, that aside, I don't mind the content that they put out. I think the content they put out is actually pretty good. You know, they're firing people up, and they should be, and that's good. There's a better way to do it. We're going to talk about that later, but let's just keep going here.
Yeah. So that gave us the first strike. So after that, we was very careful because we got a very important message, I believe, and we don't want to get in trouble. So unfortunately, this is the result of censorship. we decided to do.
It's not just the result of censorship. It's also the result of ignorance, Nick. I tried to warn you, and you wanted to ignore me. You never wanted to talk to me. I tried to warn you this was going to happen to you because it happened to me. You know, the guy you can't stand. And the guy you can't stand was trying to reach out to you and help you, Nick. Where were you, buddy? Where were you?
Zero coverage of COVID and public health or anything like that because we don't want to risk that, right? So they know they had to give us 2 strikes.
Which, by the way, just to jump in here, is part of their goal as well. And you guys are not the only. I've done some of it myself, but is self-censorship to try and get us to avoid topics. Now they're trying to get people to avoid talking about RFK Jr. I think is one of the big things. Israel's another one, but. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Treasure Coast Waters.
Those are topics. Like we just
Hello,
had,
good sir.
David.
It's a good thing about having a channel that's damaged his minds. We talk about RFK Jr. in Israel all the time, and I never get in trouble for any of it. Why? Because I am so algorithmed and I am so hidden. They don't think anybody's listening to my show. So I can put the content up there, and it's there in the archives, and anybody that wants access to that information can come back later and go watch it.
Food and Aaron Good on to talk about how the CIA definitely... well, I should say, since you're live, I don't want to get you in trouble, probably killed JFK, and I don't think it's a coincidence that right after I have them on.
So that's interesting. I didn't realize that you just covered that topic because my co-host on my other podcast, Government Secrets, he was demonetized right after we did 4 straight episodes on CIA involvement. And
that is how algorithms work. Lee Camp and Graham Elwood put up identical videos. Graham is the one that got in trouble for it.
The Willie Bragg Show. Pod Save America and Ben Shapiro will never get censored. They're safe.
Not true. If Jimmy Dore can get censored, then Ben Shapiro and Pod Save America can get censored too. It's going to happen to all of them, Willie. Mark my words, bro. Mark my words. You don't think it... You know, Nick didn't think it could happen to him. Jimmy Dore doesn't think it can happen to him. Ask Lee Camp if Ben Shapiro and Pod Save America could be silenced. Ask Lee Camp if it could happen to them. Come on, Willie. Come on, Willie.
The death of JFK.
I mean, there's a lot of crazy topics we cover, but I don't think it's a coincidence that we get this right after.
Do you really think...
Cannabis heals. I think the big thing is that you don't care about the money from YouTube, you care about truth.
Right. Exactly. I told my mom that this morning. I'm like, the problem with Nick is he needs the money. You know, and Lee was probably relying on some of the money too for monetization. Not me. I don't take any money from social media, so fuck them. I can say whatever I want. I was going to make another point about these big channels being silenced, but I kind of forgot what I was going to say about it. But you know, too big to fail on YouTube. Oh yeah. YouTube just raised the price of premium $2. You think they're worried about channels?
The Willie Bragg Show. The center never gets censored.
They'll get censored, bro. Everybody is going to be silenced and censored. You will see. It's going to happen to everybody. My point is that YouTube doesn't care about making money off of our channels. Doesn't care if you have 1 million subscribers and they're making money off of you. What they care about is raising that premium YouTube to $2 more, and that's where their money's going to be coming from. They don't fucking care about content anymore, Willie. They don't give a fuck about your content. And if your content is political or emotionally charging or controversial or offensive, you're gone, bro, with the rest of us. You're all gone. YouTube will no longer be the place where politics is allowed to be discussed. Mark my words, bro. They just haven't gotten that far yet. They will. Bro, they're taking down Nick. They've taken down Lee Camp. They're working on Jimmy Dore right now. Not that Jimmy Dore is a saint. He fucking deserves to be silenced. He deserves to fucking be silenced. And Nick putting out this bullshit, he deserves to be silenced too, because he's fucking putting out misinformation and lying to his audience. I mean, I support them in being able to have a voice. I really do. But I'm also telling you, they deserve what they get. Lee Camp, no. Lee Camp doesn't deserve being silenced. He's always been about the facts. He's as honest as they come, man. Graham Elwood, same thing. And when these people are being honest, they shouldn't be punished for it. But you know what? If they're going to punish the people who are being honest, they're definitely going to punish the fucking liars too. You, fucking Jimmy Dore, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder. I guarantee you some of these people have already been kicked off of YouTube. We just don't know it yet. You know, is Steven Crowder still on YouTube? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been eradicated. And they're going to eradicate more. This is just the beginning, Willie. Just the beginning, bro. You have no idea what we're in store for if you think that Ben Shapiro is safe. YouTube doesn't give a fuck about Ben Shapiro. YouTube didn't give a fuck about Joe Rogan, bro. Think about that. YouTube didn't give a fuck about... Did they try to get him back? Did they try to hold on to him?
I have them on and we do about an hour, talk about the crimes of the CIA. We talk about JFK and all that, and then we get this other strike. And as I was saying before, we was very careful in terms of our coverage. Obviously, we were pushing the boundaries, but we knew we couldn't talk about certain things on YouTube. So since they couldn't get us on anything recently, they decided to go back in our library. And I can't even tell you why we got a strike, because they didn't tell you. They didn't tell us. They just pulled the video and said you had wrong thing here, or probably we just shared an article. Apparently there was this study between cannabis and COVID, and I can't even tell you what we said because once again the video was absolutely cool, but we would just report on those.
Yeah, that study's a bullshit study, Nick, and you need to do more research.
Well, that's a good point.
You need to do more research on cannabis before you go on your website, on your channel, and act like you know how cannabis interacts with COVID, and you don't know. You're just listening to what some idiot told you on some stupid bullshit study that's not a real study at all. And if you just sat there and covered the facts of what the points of that study were, you'd realize it's all bullshit. And I'm sure I know what he said about cannabis and COVID on there. And we went over that on the show a long time ago, and I said, no, of course it's not the cure. Don't act like it is.
Study, but that's apparently wrong in this country.
No law regarding cannabis, like everybody cheers.
Yeah, people like us on the left.
Willie Bragg, Cannabis Heals, cheers. Everybody in the chats, cheers, guys.
This merging of corporation, big tech, and state. It's very unfortunate that the narrative have been hijacked. Like if you see some of the congressional hearings regarding big tech censorship, it's been hijacked by the Marjorie Taylor Greene right, where the narrative that it's only the right that's being censored, it's only white supremacists and Trumpers. And at RBN, we said from day one, and you have said from day one, that it will always be used against the left. It will always be used against the working class. And it'll always be used to silence the black left in particular. So we actually knew we was always on borrowed time. I'm surprised it took us 2 years for us to really, for them to really start cracking down on us. So
yeah, you guys used to throw around a lot of N-words.
It's only a matter of time before they shut it down.
And you do it as many times as I've heard the N-word tossed around flagrantly on RBN. I was like, dude, it's just a matter of time before they get you, bro. We've talked about it on the show before. Why YouTube lets people of color use the N-word, but people that aren't of color, we say it. Oh boy, 3 strikes, you're out. You know. Not that I want to use the word. I'm just saying.
We'll definitely make sure everybody knows where to follow you next. But yeah, you sound the same way I did, which was I was amazed that I was allowed to continue an uncensored TV show for 8 years. It blew my mind. And so in that way, when it did get banned globally and my YouTube channel, my original YouTube channel banned globally, I was kind of like, well, boy.
I love that Lee Camp's Gray is coming in. Welcome to your 50s, bro.
Boy, they were actually a little late for their train. However, at the same time, you're like, fuck this. How is this freedom of speech? How is this freedom of press? How is this freedom to do journalism or talk about these issues? And it is just...
It's not. It's a private company, Lee. They can do whatever they want. It's like if you come into my house and I don't want you to say, to speak anti-Semitic rhetoric in my house, and I say, get the fuck out of my house because you're in here preaching anti-Semitism or whatever. My house, my rules. YouTube is their house. It's their rules, Lee. You have to learn their rules. You have to play by their rules, and then you have to beat them at their own game. But neither of you ever heard me say that before because you don't watch my show.
Infuriating, and that's on top of all the shadow
Willie Bragg
banning.
show.
Like, this is just
The N-word
full-out,
was once used on my pro-am, but not as a reference by a guest, not as a slur. It freaked me out when it was said.
Dude, not as a slur? No, it's a slur. If the word is said, it's a slur. If you utter the word, it's a slur, Willie.
Now you guys can't post something for like 2 weeks.
In
but
any
it's
state,
only 3
in any state that you say that word, whether you feel like Joe Rogan does, like you want to try to get away with saying the word, it's a fucking slur. You know? There's no way that you can say that word in any context without it being a slur.
strikes and you're
Period.
going forever.
That's how it
Yeah,
works.
and it's bone
That's how
chilling as
audio
well,
works,
because
bro.
I know it may sound selfish, but we know the theory behind censorship and why it's so.
I have no
so
desire to
scary
say
and
it.
dangerous.
No desire at all.
And I know
I don't know
can
why
feel
Joe
like
Rogan
it's
likes to
different
let
when
it
happens
slip
to
out
you,
every once in a
right?
while,
'Cause you know the
trying to
theory
use it
when
in
happens to
context.
you extremely
Whatever,
bad.
Joe, you fucking
We were
racist
banned
piece
for
of
2
shit.
weeks, but you guys got to think about it this way. That's half of our revenue for the month is gone. So we're being imposed financial penalties because of our speech, and we can try to be free speech mavericks. We can say, "Oh, screw the establishment." We
Yeah,
can say whatever.
it's called a
But
day
there's
job.
gonna be this lingering
My
concern
guest
at the
said it,
back of our-
and I
our
did not
mind.
know
I mean,
that
I got
person was
little
going
less-
to say it.
Did you have Rome on your channel, bro? I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming the channel owner. But I want you to know I'm not trying to call you out for what somebody else said on your show, bro. I've had people say all kinds of shit on my show too. They try to come into the chat and say it. You know, because they know it gets read out loud.
The Willie Bragg show. No.
But the algorithm doesn't care the context. Algorithm doesn't give a fuck about the context. And these guys drop enough N-bombs on RBN. And the algorithm's going to get wise to them, bro. You think I'm kidding? Watch. Their third strike is going to be from a video from a year ago. Watch. The spiders will catch them.
Let's lose the most.
But they don't know that.
But
He didn't know
you
that
have CJ who
because
has
he doesn't want to
children.
talk to me.
You have Rome at RBN who have children. You have the government aiding corporations in order so CJ and Rome can feed their children less.
Rome will
Or
talk
we
to
have
me.
less stability now because of our speech.
Rome, friend of the
once
show,
we
been
know
on the show.
theory behind why this stuff is devastating.
Friend of
but
mine.
When it happens to you, you really feel that bone-chilling effect what our government's going through. Which is why I'm happy that
He mentions Rome twice.
Your censorship before Kit from Ireland's media, even before we were censored, we knew
Unholy Rome,
in theory
guys.
why it was horrible and bad. But now that we're going through it ourselves, it's just extra bone
On
chilling
Twitter.
and extra really intimidating because you know you got people watching you, going
ROM3.
after you. And what's most revealing is when our first strike, they gave us a strike for playing a video. Then I went on my personal YouTube channel that I haven't used in a very long time, that has way less following because I'm not active on it.
Right.
And I played the same video plus way more ban-worthy stuff, right? Because we was on Rumble as well. And we didn't get, in my personal YouTube channel, didn't get pulled. That tells me that they targeting us, because if it was a uniform
Right.
rule set, they would ban my personal YouTube, which I didn't care because I don't use it.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no way if like the Young Turks or something aired this
The Willie
exact
Bragg
same
show.
video you did.
Rome
that
does
it
good
would
work
get
for the
them a
people.
strike or
Dude,
anything.
Rome is one of the
Yeah,
purest, realest, greatest human beings on the planet. You know, and he's an artist, so he's unstable, like I am. You know, multi-personality, whatever you want to call it. I understand he goes through phases just like I do. You know, he gets mood swings like I do. But I've never seen a human being go so far out of their way for complete strangers before. And he does it out of the goodness of his heart. And he is a part of RBN. You know, and he is, in my opinion, you know, one of the most important factors that makes RBN what it is. Rome's always going to say the wrong thing on a podcast, dude. He's always going to offend people. You know, there's no avoiding that. And if you go that route with him, and you know he's going to be like that, it will be the most fulfilling relationship of your life. And let me tell you something. Him and I had our problems before. You know, it's not perfect. But you get over shit and you keep going, and it's knowing him and being a friend of his is one of the greatest things that I know. You know, it's so simple too to just go on Twitter and follow him on Twitter at Unholy Rome with a 3 instead of an E on the Rome. He's doing a lot of work, man. He's doing a lot of good work.
And that's the infuriating part, because
he inspires
right
people.
Message,
he inspires more people to do good work.
Establishment, you can say whatever you want.
Why don't people hear your warning, Nick?
YouTube algorithm going back and flagging every single Russiagate video from.
They don't like me. I don't think Nick likes me. I think Nick checked me out for 1 second, didn't like me, and said, you know, I'm muting or blocking that guy. I criticized him on some shit or whatever. I'm guessing.
Win it, Muncha. Nick.
Fuck Nick. Fuck Nick. He just doesn't want to talk to me, man. It's cool.
MSNBC. If we go
Right,
back
which is
Sabby talks to me. Rome talks to me. CJ won't talk to me, and this guy won't talk to me. Nick won't talk to me. It's so funny. I don't know what that's about, bro. I don't know what that's about, because I know that through our Twitter accounts,
it's their problem.
Through our Twitter accounts, they know that me and Rome talk to each other. So they choose to not talk to me.
Yeah.
Not interact with me.
So that just shows that they are targeting us. So even if we win this appeal, even if we are extra careful, it's only a matter of time before they catch us slipping. And as a younger channel, we don't have any YouTube liaisons to reach out to. It's just when they decide to strike our channel down, it's over for us. We don't have giant capital that may.
It's not over, but
it'll be over.
You've got content.
It's been a lot of work.
You need to download it now, and this is what.
What platform?
All right, Nick. In all seriousness, and all my differences with you aside, here's your advice right now: go on your YouTube channel and download all of your content if you haven't already done that. Go get access to all of your material. That's the first thing you should do. The second thing you should do is set all of your videos right now to private. Set your whole channel to private. It won't take but 5 minutes to do it. Set every video to fucking private. Do it now. If somebody wants to make a 1-minute clip of this and send it to Nick, that's the best fucking advice you're going to get, bro. You can avoid that third strike. Those spiders are going to crawl your shit anyway. But if your channel's not active, people aren't visiting your videos, you'll probably have a less chance of those spiders finding your offensive content. And you and I both know what kind of content you have on those channels. You've got very racist comments. You've got anti-science comments. You know, I'm not blaming anybody. You guys have the freedom to say whatever you want. Like Jimmy Dore wants to put his misinformation out there. Fine, whatever. Put out your misinformation, bro. Do what you got to do. But just remember, you want to keep this channel, you got to follow these simple little steps. You got to wait until these
Cannabis heals.
these strikes
Because
clear.
he wants the views to get the coin. Win it, Muncha.
No.
Jimmy Dory is a liar and a thief.
Bro, he takes this risk, and he gets that third strike down. He's going to have to go to the next level of trying to get his channel back. And that's a whole other lesson. That, Nick, is you have to go to AdWords or AdSense. I cannot remember which one it was, but it's one or the other. They can get you your channel back like that. 3 strikes, deleted, whatever. AdSense or AdWords will get you your channel back. You've got an account with them if you're getting revenue. You just contact them. Fuck YouTube. They're connected to YouTube, and they've got the power. They got me my 3-strike Trendy As Dabbers channel back in 2012 or 2013 when it happened. I got a 3-strike channel back. That's how I got it back. Now you know. And even though you've always wanted to ignore me, and I've tried to tell you so much more besides how to get a channel back, I tried to stop you from getting to the point where you were going to get these strikes in the first place. I tried to help.
Platforms, we'll say it again at the end, but what platforms
Jimmy
do you
Dore,
want people to follow
Jimmy
you on?
Dore's a liar and a thief. Yeah. He could come off the $360.
Right, I understand what you're saying, but he won't do that because he wants the coin from every view.
He could
Win it,
come off
Muncha.
the $360.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
You know, he really seemed to like that triage oil. But that's something else.
In case your channel does get shut down.
Yeah, we did the post duopoly show with Harlan's Media and Due Distance last night on Rumble, Revolutionary Blackout on Rumble. We had content on Rumble, but we're really gonna push that moving forward. We started going live on Rumble about 6-7 weeks ago. And we had Jamie on last Friday as well, so make sure you guys check us out on Rumble. Also post
Hello,
videos
sir.
on Twitter, because I guess that's a
Hey,
thing. So I have videos
what's
and
up?
lives that we post on Twitter
NX
at
on
Social
T,
Cinema.
Ali,
You also
what's
follow
up?
Revolutionary
Hello.
Black on Twitter, because you can see videos there as well.
At Socialist MMA, right?
Yes.
Inzon. Can I call you
Or
Inzon?
Revolutionary Blackout, because both you can find videos of both Twitter pages, and that's also following us on Twitter is a good way to get links to our shows, because we upload every single day. So it's a great way to follow us.
Do you feel this shows though the weakness of how weak this empire
Cannabis
is, this
heals.
crumbling empire is? That
Now he promotes some other kind of
the
oil and
likes of you
CBD
and
stuff.
me on a YouTube channel is apparently so dangerous that they have to shut it down.
So if you take any single individual person from MSNBC or CNN and they try to start a YouTube show, they will get 5 views. Like no one cares about them as a brand. They're force-fed on people. I go to the gym, you see Fox News, you go somewhere in
Yeah,
public,
every time if anyone watches one of my videos, the next up video is always like
How are you, sir?
MSNBC or John Oliver or something. Basically, it's the algorithm
doing
saying,
really good.
"Oh, sorry, little fella, you seem to have wandered into the wrong area. You head on back."
Yeah, and if you look
Thank
at
you
the
for
views,
asking.
maybe 80% of it is that. Maybe someone who left their phone on, it autoplay to a CNN view, that's all the views. And that's why, to your question, that's why they censor people like us, because with the alternatives, there's no reason to listen to Anderson Cooper anymore. There's no reason to listen to these clowns, and we do propaganda report all the time on RBA.
Cannabis
Many
heals.
people in our generation don't even
He
watch
could
it
have promoted
anymore.
your stuff
And
that
we
works.
should show clips like of just corporate media, and people who don't watch it, they are shocked at how awful it is.
Who are you?
Like,
Cannabis
there's
heals.
no competition. There's no way.
How long have you been
that corporate
smoking
media can
cannabis?
compete
Oh,
with-
you're talking about Jimmy Dore? Now he promotes some other kind of oil and CBD stuff? Oh. I didn't know that. He could have promoted your stuff that works. He talked about it, I think, the triage oil on his show. How long have you been smoking cannabis? Since I was 14. I'm in my mid-50s now, Mikey.
with you, compete with me, compete with Harlan's me, compete with anybody. And I'm just a college dropout. So it shows that how awful the Empire and their puppets are. That just an ordinary college dropout who just reads a little bit too much can do better than them.
Well, that's the problem. You started reading. That's what I did. I did finish college. I didn't want to, but I did finish college. But I did my real reading after college. That's when I picked up, Hedges and Chomsky and stuff. But I was gonna say, yeah, before they started this, suppressing of certain channels and shit like that, basically after the 2016 election when Bernie came too close to grabbing the gold ring. Before that, my videos, before anyone knew my name really, were getting 25 and 50,000 views. Meanwhile, CNN's channel would get 1,000 or a few hundred views.
I remember that era.
Because nobody would come to YouTube to see corporate media.
Yeah, and it's so obvious that they mess with the algorithm because maybe a lot of newer people who follow politics maybe don't remember. I remember. I remember seeing your videos back in the day. I remember back in the day seeing CNN, and the numbers were laughable. Yeah. And then the numbers switch just like that. You see a random CNN video with 500,000 views. That would never happen before, and that's definitely algorithm tampering. And it shows how desperate they are that they can't have a free exchange of ideas. Because I'm not subscribed to none of these channels, but I'll be watching your Jimmy or some other content, and all of a sudden I'll see a CNN or MSNBC video recommended to me. So the algorithm definitely favors them. It's still not really helping them when you see the failing business model that CNN and MSNBC has. No one buys partisan rank corporate media no more. It's independent media is rising. That's why you're seeing YouTube pairing with Google and shutting us down, because they can't have that alternative to corporate media. Because especially when it comes to the new wars they're trying to push, I think that's the biggest reason why RBNs get taken down. I think they're going to be another wave. Not only us, there's going to be a lot of people taken out because of the upcoming election. Because as the Ukraine war continues to wage on, and you have the Empire that's planning to go to war with China, and they are planning a full NATO strategy to encroach on China and Taiwan. And as they do those things that are unjustifiable, you guys really going to see how authoritarian the West can get. We see it in France. We see it in the UK right now, how they cracking down on dissent. They just getting started. Once these wars really prop off, once the empires really start to die, it's only going to get worse. That's why people need to get louder, which is why we need to see even more people spread their voice on social media, independent media, any way possible.
Do you think revolutionary change can happen on platforms owned by oligarchs, owned by the ruling elite who are trying to protect their wealth and their power?
No, absolutely not. Now we need to use every tool that's available to us, and any opportunity we can have to reach people, we definitely should use. This is just one tool that we have. It's important to stay vigilant in organizing the streets. We had CJ organized, and he helped the homeless at the Skid Row.
Nick's high, bro.
He does it every month. Rome currently building a library. You know of his work. He travels around. There's a Boston RBN chapter
before this interview to calm down.
Kansas City RBN chapter open up here soon. We wanted to try a new project at RBN, and a lot of people don't know the origin. Because I feel like there's either or. People will choose either or. Either I'm an on-the-ground activist or I'm in media. And I never understood why people make that choice. Like, we wanted to be activists who have a YouTube channel. So not only are we...
I'm not an activist, and I'm not media. I'm just content, man. I'm just entertainment. That's me.
Engage in activism. We cover stuff. We want to normalize the voice of the proletariat. We want to normalize, honestly, communist voices as well in the media, while also
I just want to put stuff up on the internet and let people watch it.
Either or. We want to do both, and honestly, it confuses some people because they're like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber? No, we in the streets too. Like, we do both."
No, I totally agree with you, and I think these
puts
times
a smile on my face.
They're too dire. They're too important right now to just sit on the sidelines and say I'm just media. And I've always tried to be both. There was a time there during Redacted Tonight where basically in my first year, I think or maybe it was my second,
That's a
I
big
got
cup of
arrested
Joe.
at the
It's
Capitol, and they
empty.
basically said, if
Yeah.
you get arrested again, we're going to fire you. So, so
Damn.
there was a time when Redacted and I was airing that I couldn't risk arrest, but I was still giving speeches at protests. I was still at all the Assange events and everything. So I was still mixing the two as much as I could. Now I'm free again, and so I'll be doing all kinds of shit. But
Yeah, and I don't want to. I feel like there's a concerted effort to like discourage people, because we live in the heart of empire. Times are hard. People have to work a lot, and we stress that everyone has a role in this movement. Like if you someone, for example, if you work 55 to 60 hours a week, you have 2 kids, but you are doing pretty well, but you don't got time to organize. Be a class trader. Be someone who funds people who run in projects like Rome. And if you have extra time on Saturday to bake
Holly
pies or sew
Nick.
clothes for
Hey,
the
Holly
movement, do
Hornet.
whatever you can. And there's this nonstop pressure.
Hello.
What
We
can
got
I do? What
24
can I do?
hours of red,
We say,
guys.
find your skill. And
Holly
find your
Hornet.
way
Anybody
to
knows?
contribute to the movement.
This.
You being a comedian, you educating people is a very important
Anybody
task.
know what,
And having educators are a very important task. Having foot
what
soldiers
24
like
hours of
Rome
red
and
means,
other
right?
members of RB is very important. It is important to find your lane and find what you can do, but
Holly Horn.
we got to understand
Hi,
that
Willie
everyone
Bragg.
can put blood, sweat, and tears. But if you can, you should, and that's what we want to encourage. Positive engagement to the movement. Don't be lazy. Don't try to get out of it, but do whatever you possibly think you can. Like me personally, like even training people in martial arts, teaching people how to cook, teaching people how to fish. Like these are mutual aid activities that can build towards a revolution. And these are concepts that the left haven't even talked about for years. I never heard it before RBN, and we just want to discuss these strategies, how we can move forward instead of just voting Democrat and hoping for the best every 4 years, which has been the U.S. strategy for a long time.
Win it, Muncha.
yeah, absolutely.
real man
well,
has a
this may
big
be
cup of
another thing
coffee.
that has made you guys a little too dangerous for YouTube is the combining of activism with the message, which I have tried to do too. It's possible that some of those on YouTube who don't seem to get censored, it may have to do with the fact that they're not really encouraging activism. They're not encouraging uniting and fighting. I'm not saying all of them aren't. I'm just saying some might. And instead, it's kind of just pure commentary of like, this looks bad,
Win it,
this looks
Muncha.
bad, or whatever. Like,
How often do you clear your bongs and what
once you
method?
tell people to get in the streets and unite with others and fight back, that's when it really starts to take.
I use warm alcohol. If I have to, I'll use kosher salt. But if it's a bubbler for just concentrate, and you don't want to mix concentrate and flour, right? Have 2 separate. That way you can retrieve the reclaim. I put in I drain out the water. I put in 99.9% isopropyl alcohol, usually warm. I'll swish it around. I'll drain all that alcohol with the reclaim out into a ramekin dish, and I'll evaporate the alcohol. I'll just let it sit out, or I'll put it in a cabinet. I'll let it evaporate, and so it's just, I'll put it up on a little coin or something so the dish tilts to one side and all the oil comes to one side. I scoop it out and put it in a jar, and I can make triage oil out of that.
Holly Horn. Black Power Media just got banned from YT for a week. They've been on Twitch, though. Cannabis heals. Teaching people to how food, I feel that's the most important thing you could learn these days.
Did Black Power Media happen to say why they were banned from YouTube for a week? That's a strike. They got a strike. So, did they say what they got the strike for?
Take that next leap.
There are 2 things that I see, and I've been following independent media pretty closely in the last 3 years since I dived in.
Win it,
There are
Muncha.
2 things that keep you safe.
They
for
don't
the
even
most
teach
part.
you about bills
If
and
you tell
money
people to vote
management.
Democrat at the end of your video,
Holly Horn.
Yep.
No.
and you don't cover empire. And I mean, you can say whatever you want about Joe Biden. You can say whatever you want about Democrats. As long as at the end of the video, your message is vote Democrat, and you avoid empire topics, they will leave you absolutely alone.
Yeah.
And we could have made
The
those
Willie Bragg
calculations and cover
Hi, at
less
Holly Horn.
risky topics. But what's the fun in that, right?
Absolutely.
What's the fun in that?
Absolutely. No, listen, the revolution should have dancing.
Dude, look, let's just say it, okay? I'm going to say it. Revolutionary Blackout Network has had calls to violence, and they know it. And whether it's collectively or just a single person sitting in on the show, that is something that YouTube will not allow on their service. And they've done it enough times that, every single one of those videos should be set to private while they've got 2 strikes.
So thank you so much for being here, Nick. I want to make sure, again, people hear all those links and know where to follow you. The Rumble channel was rumble.com/Revolutionary Blackout.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can follow us on Rumble, Revolutionary Blackout. You can also follow me on Socials MA, Revolutionary Blackout on Twitter, because we post links. Because we have other links like Rofkin as well, but Twitter is a great place to get a collected link. But right now, Rumble is our big push. So, and Rumble is a very underrated platform. I used it when they first started, but they made a lot of great improvements since then. I actually do prefer that over YouTube. I'm not just saying that, but especially maybe because I'm personally hurt, I prefer Rumble more than YouTube. So I highly recommend it. That's where we're gonna be pushing heavily. So. Once again, appreciate you having me on, Lee Camp. Obviously, very valuable voice on the left as well. So appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. Keep in touch, and I hope they don't delete your channel.
Yeah, hope so too. Have a good one, Lee.
Later.
Holly Horn.
Too bad.
Revolutionary Blackout Network was Fred Hampton leftists. They got in trouble with Hampton's family and had to change the name.
It's too bad Lee didn't give him any advice of what he should do to avoid getting that 3rd strike. If Nick paid attention to me, I'd be able to tell him.
Win it, Muncha.
So,
Cheers, everyone.
That's what's up. Tried to warn these guys, man. What can I say?
Win it, Muncha. How's Beazle today?
He's on my feet. Beasel's on my feetzels. Aren't you, Bees? He's like sleeping in front of the fan. Beazle. What the hell is that?
The Willie Bragg Show. Maybe the online left streamers should form a union of sorts or an organization to combat YouTube censorship. Win it, Muncha. Beazle be Beazlin'.
I mean, I put up a video on Truth here about media being silenced, and I asked people to share it around and get people involved. It just gets ignored, bro. My shit gets ignored. You know what video I'm talking about? Truthier.news.
Win it, Muncha. The Matrix is suppressing you.
Here's the link to it in the chat. It's got 24 views. Hey, look at that.
The Willie Bragg Show.
It's got 20.
I wonder if the ACLU could do something about this.
Here it is.
When it muncha. Is truthier news your platform?
Yeah, it's mine. It's my platform. Whoa!
The Willie Bragg Show. Bookmarked.
Hey, look, this came up as a recommended video. Thank you, Willie.
Dear Governor DeSantis, I wanted to write and thank you for working so hard for the citizens of Florida.
Dear Governor DeSantis, I've never written a political leader.
But I'm writing to express my appreciation for keeping us Floridians free and thriving.
A governor who says what he is going to do and then does it.
I realize that the right thing is not always the easy thing.
Without your leadership, we wouldn't have been able to stay open.
Because of you, my child has thrived through this pandemic.
The monoclonal antibodies saved my mother's life.
I'm 11 years old and I'm glad I could go to school.
Watching you beat back the woke
When it muncha.
liberal media
DeSantis,
makes me so proud
more like
to
the
be a
devil.
Floridian.
Freedom to live.
Freedom to go to
The
school.
Willie Bragg Show.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Mussolini DeSantis.
Thank you for keeping Florida free.
Keep fighting the good fight.
It's crazy that
When it muncha. Adolf DeSantis.
Morgan, Colin, and Gilbert. Morgan and Gilbert. Dude, I can't believe a Truthier News came up as a recommended. Here's another one, dude. Dude, it's recommending.
Holly Horn. Thank you, Nay.
It's recommending look, dude. It's recommending more Truthier News videos. I'd get in trouble for that. I'm pretty sure on YouTube. That's pretty cool, though. It's recommending my videos.
How long before we...
It's recommending my videos, man. I can't believe it's recommending more Truthier. That's the way YouTube used to work, guys.
When it muncha.
And it stopped.
You may
for a
be
long
hitting the
time.
algorithm now. Others have been canceled.
I know, right? I can't believe this. I'm still clicking on them.
Marking a collaboration among federal,
Kendra
state,
Mace.
and private sector
Good morning,
partners to
Nay.
make this
Hey,
place
Kendra.
a national investment. It is exactly
When
what
it
our country
muncha.
needs more of, and
Let more
exactly
people get
what our
canceled.
communities deserve.
There are warnings of a possible nationwide shipping logjam.
Thanks to the American Rescue Plan,
A shortage of rail workers is causing cargo to pile up once again at the Port of Los Angeles.
more than $43 billion will go to support our nation's transportation systems.
But the containers are already piling up, clogging the docks, waiting for trains to transport cargo across the country.
Now, the rescue plan contains $1.7 billion.
There are about 35,000 containers that are designated for rail on our docks right now. On a normal day, looks more like 9,000 units.
And it's already having a positive impact. $1.4 billion has been set aside under the American Rescue Plan. Texas, Spartan, which is their local public
Cannabis
transit agency,
Heals.
retrofitted
Interesting.
their brand new transit facility
Horn.
to be the community's
What
first
does Buttigieg
mass
actually do?
vaccination site. And in a single day, that
Transportation
vaccine
Buzzers,
clinic
man.
vaccinated nearly 1,000 people.
The Willie Bragg Show.
In Jacksonville,
Robot
Florida, the
Vitijig.
Transportation Authority there helped to launch Wellness on Wheels, a mobile vaccine service ensuring that seniors and underserved communities had the opportunity to secure those critically needed vaccinations. And these are the kinds of efforts that are going to get more support thanks to the American Rescue Plan.
Seymour Cannabis. NLRC trendy Josh Davers at Naysgarden cheers good morning.
The American Rescue Plan. So, with the American Rescue Plan, help is here.
LA Port Director Gene Soroka is sounding the alarm to prevent another scene like this.
Some of these will play out over time, but
The
that's
Willie Bragg Show.
How long before
Pete the
we see
Chief.
him back up at sea again?
We've probably got another 4 to 6 weeks if we do nothing.
Some of these will play out over time, but that's a good thing.
Over the last 3 years,
a good thing.
railroads have lost 20% of their
Such an
employees.
idiot.
Some of these will play out over time, but that's a good thing.
So where are the bottlenecks right now?
The bottlenecks right now are on that last mile.
That's a good thing.
But with truck driver shortages and now a glut of goods arriving,
the warehouses are full. There's nowhere to offload the goods.
That's a good thing.
it's a fragile system and it could all fall apart very quickly.
That's a good thing.
On today, when you could have done this, Democrats have this basically sitting on a shelf since the summer.
Look, the right time to make a lot of these investments was not just a couple of months ago, but a couple of decades ago. And so I always think that
yes, but
we
you
should
had
be
bipartisan support in the
action.
Senate over the summer.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that hurts, bro.
The Willie Bragg Show. Mayor Pete wants to be president so damned bad.
Done that.
This has got bad. This has got bad volume.
Some of them were, yes.
Yeah. Some of them were.
The only way.
I'd have to turn up my volume louder. These speakers aren't loud enough, and you just can't hear what's going on there. It's too bad it's so quiet. Jimmy Dore asked us to let him know if we caught him sleeping.
Because that sets me off. To see a guy like that who I know knows better come in and gaslight you like that, that does get my dander up. So all I'm saying is, if you ever see me doing that, please let me know, because it's shameful.
He'd been slipping since 2016 with an anonymous troll account on Twitter.
Jimmy Dore went to Italy in September 2018. Here's a tweet from September 24th, 2018. He's using Vodafone IT, an Italian wireless carrier. Vodafone IT. A day later, on September 25th, 2018.
This doesn't prove nothing.
The Willie Bragg Show.
01.
Tim Black was
Tweets a
making fun of
screenshot
one of the Karens from The
that
View wanting
shows
to
his
desire a
wireless
Kamala Harris
carrier
and Pete Buttigieg ticket.
Is Vodafone IT.
That's a coincidence.
Jimmy used the account at libtard01 under the name Two Coats. There it is. Jimmy Dore retweeted anti-Semitic tropes from Fiora Isabella IM and cowardly attacked others while hiding behind this phony Twitter account. Who runs Hollywood? I personally confronted Jimmy on both Twitter and wherever else on my podcast. Oh my God! Somebody found a tweet. I haven't even read it yet, man. I got it up on the screen. I haven't even read it. Somebody found a tweet from the sock account. So somebody is saying that from this account, Jimmy Dore used this fake account to go after Jank. So what Jimmy Dore said to Jank from this other account was, Jank's obsessed with Jimmy. So he speaks about himself in the third person. It's just so funny. That is funny. He speaks about himself in third person, pretending to be somebody else, dude. This mashup proves that even when smearing Bernie's press secretary as a fake leftist, he still can't stop thinking and talking about @Jimmy_Dore nonstop. So Ray says Jimmy Dore tweeting about how obsessed Jank is with him from an alt account is so fucking funny. This was Jimmy Dore's response. You're blocked.
Because that sets me off. To see a guy like that who I know knows better come and gaslight you like that, that does get my dander up. So all I'm saying is, if you ever see me doing that, please let me know, because it's shameful.
That's hilarious. You ever see Jimmy Dore doing something stupid? Let him know, correct him. Okay, Jimmy, I let you know you blocked me, you fucking dick. And you owe me $360 for some triage oil. So fuck you. Motherfucker. Why is collecting rainwater
This is the
regulated?
kind of water in Florida that we've just got pouring into the ground.
When it Muncha.
Think about all the
Triage
places
oil
around
feed.
the world that are running out of water, and they don't allow us to collect rainwater. And we could literally be collecting rainwater and sending this.
All I can say is Billy Valentine was
that
right
we
about Jimmy
just
Dore
goes
from
right
the very
back into the
beginning.
ground. What a waste. Look at that clean, beautiful water. And our government says we can't collect that and send it to people who need it. People here in the United States, there's people in California.
Southern California water officials have declared a water shortage emergency.
People in Arizona.
The water shortage in Arizona and the West is entering a dire new phase.
You name it, Colorado.
Lake Mead, a reservoir created by the Hoover Dam on the Colorado River, has been losing water as a result of the ongoing drought
The
in the
Willie
western
Bragg Show.
United States.
So whose side were you on between Jimmy Dore and Kyle Kulinski 2 years ago? We both know TYT were in the wrong.
That was regarding, I'm so sorry, man. What was that regarding? Jimmy Dore and Kyle Kulinski. I can't remember what the initial conflict was there. I have a feeling I sided with Jimmy Dore, but you're going to have to tell me what it was. TYT.
The Willie Bragg Show. Aaron Mate.
Aaron Mate. I don't know what Aaron Mate had to do with Kyle Kulinski.
The Willie Bragg Show. Anna Kasparian's meltdown.
Over the sexual. Yeah, I was on Jimmy Dore's side. Still am. Anna Kasparian's a fucking idiot. California just got some record rainfall.
The Willie Bragg Show. That was a crazy situation, but I ended up with 50 additional subscribers in the summer of 2021 over that drama.
$50 additional subscribers. That's cool. I'm sure I covered it.
The Willie Bragg Show. I washed my hands completely from TYT at that point.
Oh, bro, I stopped watching TYT a long time ago. Long time ago. What happened to my kick page? That's fucking weird. Oh, there it is. All right, you guys. I'm out of here. Having a nice morning, and I will see you
The Willie Bragg Show.
On the next show.
Kyle's latest video about Cornel West and the Democrats was totally awful.
I didn't see it. I don't watch Kyle anymore either, so I didn't watch that guy. Remember, guys, I'm on Threads at Naysgarden Show. So come on over there. That's where you'll find me. And I will see you guys later. Take care.